Okay, so we're gonna hope that that worked and that did what it was supposed to do. We're gonna hope that that works eventually, at least. In the interim, we're gonna try to figure out why my microphone isn't working. Uncheck two. I do like that I did just receive an email informing me that I am in fact live. That's great content. Why isn't my microphone working? Audio, 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 desktop audio. No, give me the, oh, it might be because I wonder now. Now you got it? All right, it's because I can't wear headphones. All right, so I'll wear headphones around my neck like a cool guy. And I'll get off OBS so that no one else sees that. Well, if you're watching this, thank you. It means a lot to me personally. This is going to be really just a quick demo of the Plus EV page at OddsJam, which is essentially the only way you can profit long term with the legalization of sports betting in your state. Uh, just to give you a quick idea, I know the picture in picture didn't work because OBS is letting me down. My name's Geebs. I have a gambling problem and I love OddsJam. Really, that's as much as you need to know. And what we're going to do here is just spend a couple minutes before a bunch of NBA games tip off tonight, and we're going to find some incorrect and inefficiently priced wagers, and we're going to bet all our money on them until we run out of money or we run out of NBA games. So we're going to start here on the OddsJam Plus EV page. This bet actually I don't think is as profitable as I would like it to be. We can get into that a little bit later, but we're definitely going to take this bet right here. Jason Tatum to record fewer than 4.5 assists. As you can already see, no one on planet Earth, let alone the state of New York, is giving you plus money on this bet. Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, prices this at minus 132. Everyone else has it right around a coin flip. But our friends at BetMGM have it at plus 105. We think that's wrong. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go bet it. We're going to log in to our MGM account where we have been severely limited for taking all their money over the course of the last few months. We're going to find the Boston Celtics. We're going to go to their player prop market. We'll click into assists. And look at that. Jason Tatum is, in fact, incorrectly priced still at plus 105, just like they said here. Now, I use the Kelly criterion to make all of my bets. OddsJam does the math for you there. Right now, this bet has an expected value of 3.9%. They want us to wager just under a single percent of our bankroll. In many ways, that can be considered a unit. That math works out to 46.85. I am playing that standard Kelly criterion exactly. I do think there's maybe some value in rounding those numbers off, especially if you're on an account that hasn't been limited yet, but we already knew this was going to happen. BetMGM is terrified of us. They're terrified of every OddsJam user out there. They're not going to let us get down all the money we want to, so we're going to take what we can get. And we're going to put $19.09 on Jason Tatum to not record 5 assists tonight. Uh, Usually, if you're, into betting, especially player props on the Plus EV page, it's going to be most efficient to wait right around until there's about an hour until tip off. Having said that, usually it'd be the case that, for example, last night when there's 15 NBA games on at the same time, or Monday night rather, this page will be absolutely chock full of goodies. So for the moment, however, it's not. We're going to wait on a few of these games that are starting in the hour to get a few more player props rolling in, and in the interim, we'll go and we'll find wherever the Celtics are playing, and we'll just jot this bet down in our own personal Excel spreadsheet to make sure that we're tracking every one of our wagers. OddsJam will do this service for you as well, but I always like having a double check to keep myself honest. I can do a lot of data pulls on that information that might not be available just from the OddsJam data set. And there we go. So let's refresh the page. And oh, look at that. There are even more inefficient wagers here in the market. I'm going to target this one at GK next. You can see that 3 of the legal books here in Virginia all have this as more or less a coin flip. Pinnacle, the sharpest sports book in the world, is a little more confident that Mike Conley is washed. DraftKings is drunk. That is not a price they should be hanging. That price is incorrect. What do we do with this information? We go and we fucking bet on it. Let's just do that immediately. Mike Conley is a member of the Utah Jazz, last I checked. So we'll go and we'll find in their player props where they keep the combo bets listed. I do hate the way DK lists their player props, but here we are. Mike Conley over 22 and a half points, rebounds, and assists at plus 120. DraftKings is scared of us, so they're probably not going to let me get down all 45.96. And what they're especially going to do is pretend that they don't know I'm in New York. They know I'm in New York. They are throwing up every barrier they can to pretend like they do not know that. So while we wait for them to get their ass together, there we go. Okay, so we got down all 45.96. We'll come back here to OddsJam and we'll write that down. Now, I understand completely that this is not necessarily a method of gambling that is valid for everyone or is able to be 100% used in the way that I use it for everyone. For full disclosure, I am not an employee of OddsJam, but I am an employee of a social media network, which means I spend all day just kind of sitting at my computer refreshing, other various dashboards and whatnot. So in terms of my ability to sit here all day and fire off plus EV bets, I know that I am in a place of immense privilege compared to others who have more standard 9 to 5s. But if you are someone who has the ability to sit down all day and simply hammer out some plus EV bets, you should do it. It'll make you money. We can even actually take this time here as we wait for that page to refresh. You can see we've already got God knows how many bets this is, but we're looking at this is an old sheet for me. It's using the $10 units that I played in college. So if we divide $2,440 by 5, we're risking, I think right now the math works out, that's about 89, 88 units. We can take a look here at our winnings over time for the responsible degenerate. I'll circle this patch right here. This was when I was not working or using OddsJam. This is when I was arbitraging Counter-Strike lines. As you can see, eventually that might just fall off. This date right here with this big flat line in it is when I eventually signed up for OddsJam. And as you can see, on an individual day-by-day basis, yes, there are days when you can lose a lot of money. There are also days when you can win a lot of money. My favorite days are the days when I just grind out like a $2 win. Uh, it is essentially guaranteed profits in the long term. I can see that we've got a commenter asking if betting with OddsJam is a slam dunk, and I'd say that's exactly right, Kyle Jones. The mathematical principle behind plus EV betting is essentially that you're getting something that should be a coin flip at odds. I would suggest it's more of a 60-40. We can find another one of those just right here, just by pressing refresh. Every other book, although interesting that MGM has this listed this way. I do usually anchor myself to what they call the OddsJam fair line. It's their way of legally getting around calling it the pinnacle line. But this is the sharpest sports book in the world telling you that they think the Lakers in the first half could score 54 points. They could score 53 points. They don't really know. Neither does Bet Rivers. BetMGM is a little bit of a disbeliever, and FanDuel's way out there. I might pass on that one just for now. It doesn't look quite as tasty as others. And sure as shit, here's Devin Vassell under 3.5 assists. Now, here's my favorite part about betting with OddsJam. I don't know who that is. I know nothing about his game. I barely know. I don't know if he plays for the Grizzlies or the Spurs. I'm going to guess the Spurs because he sounds not good enough for me to have learned who he was already. And that kind of indicates he's probably on the Spurs. But what we do know is that there is value here. And actually, no, it's not. The value's gone. This is something you'll run into a lot, and it's something that really, I think, underscores just how positive and how profitable this bet can be. At plus 118, this is a great bet. With my $5,000 bankroll, we should probably be looking to get down 65, 70 bucks on it. Let's change that math to reflect that FanDuel, scared of us, has moved the price to even plus 100. Now, this is a normal bet. This is a bet that's a coin flip that you're getting terrible odds on. We will not bet this at plus 100. We'll come back and take another bet. And in fact, the market has moved so much against that now they're trying to tell me that Vassell to get 4 assists actually is a plus EV bet over at BetMGM. And actually, I'll take that opportunity now. We can highlight one of my favorite tools here. So this has been the plus EV page We'll go a little bit into the future. This was supposed to be Friday night's live stream, but we can give a little taste here, a little tease. If you understand and if you can get to the fact that there are sports books out there who are hanging numbers that are flatly wrong, you can also get to the spot where you realize, oh, and that means I can profit off this, no questions asked. So remember that Mike Conley bet that we made earlier? Let's say that we hear that somebody's injured. It might even be Mike Conley, and we no longer feel as confident in his ability to generate 23 points and rebounds and assists. The good people over at BetMGM are giving us an out. So we had, I believe it was 45.96 on Mike Conley's over. If we were to bet 52.96 on his under at a different price at BetMGM, we're guaranteeing ourselves a profit of 2.16%. With those numbers that we bet, that's $2.19. Now, that's a little bit poor for my blood right now, but it's 100% a valid way to grind out money. Sometimes you can catch a sportsbook with their pants down, hanging two numbers that are arbitrage to one another. Each of these numbers is competitive enough against the rest of the market that it is profitable to bet both sides. Now, I'm not going to do that because I like to gamble, and that sounds like guaranteed profits. So let's go back to the Plus EV page and see what they have for us now. Okay, I've called this one out a few times now, so I'll circle it here. This is why I click into every market just right before placing the bet. This is one where they're deriving this true number only off these two markets. The only people who have hung John Morant over under 30 points are FanDuel and WinBet. Now, I actually have a decent deal of respect for FanDuel. They steadfastly refuse to limit sharps. They want your action. And WinBet is a book that occasionally hangs numbers so bad that they'll pop. We're betting things here that are 4% EV, 4.2% EV, 3.87% EV. Sometimes WinBet hangs a number that's so damn wrong that it'll be 80% expected value. I am unwilling to say that these two sports books combined here are an entire efficient market. So for that reason, we're going to skip that one. Let's go. You know what? Let's go get this Devin Vassell line now. I apologize for calling him washed. Let's put our money where our mouth and his mouth is, and let's go get in on the Devin Vassell experience. They're still hanging the wrong number here. OddsJam says at this price we should bet about 50 bucks. We know they're going to limit me. Let's get those $20 down, and we're in. We're in for $20.05 on Mr. Devin Vassell to record a few assists. We'll go back. Where do we decide to play for? As you can see, we already actually have quite a lot invested in Devin Vassell props tonight. And again, the important sort of part of all this is that you should be able to completely eliminate your own biases with regards to gambling. Even if you are a massive Spurs fan or a Grizzlies fan, I still don't know who this guy is or who he plays for. You might be talking yourself into, well, no, I watched this team. I know how good Devin Vassell is. I actually know that he hates this matchup, and then I'll have a torrid night tonight. Yeah, you know who also knows that? The traders, the people whose professional job is to go out and take your money. So let's not listen to the voice in our heads that says, hey, you do know about sports. In fact, you might know better than anybody else. Forget that. Listen to the math. Let's do it again here. We're getting arbitrage against Pinnacle, the sharpest sports book in the world. Bet Rivers and DraftKings have both priced this competitively in the same realm as Pinnacle has. Both of them are saying this is between a plus 125 and plus 130 shot of occurring. The Hornets to win by 3 or more points. BetMGM out here, on the other hand, is way off. They are 20 cents higher than anyone else who's offering this number. OddsJam wants us to bet $35 on it. We're going to cross our fingers that BetMGM lets us bet $35 on it. What do you know? BetMGM has ceded territory, and they've let us get down that 35. So we're in for another 35. Now, one of the things that OddsJam is great at identifying is exactly when some poor trader has horrifically messed up. So as you can see, I'm going to go through now and add this to my personal spreadsheet. And you might notice we're already actually in on the Hornets at other prices on BetMGM. That's because whoever there is in charge of this game is just having a bad day. He's just not having a great time. He didn't get his coffee this morning. Maybe his wife is leaving him. Maybe it's his first day on the job. across the entire market for this game, I've seen them actually move this number a few times. And we might sit here for a minute or two and see if they move it again. What you'll see a lot of times using the plus EV tool on OddsJam is that a game will be wrong on one book at every single point. So we've already hit a few of these. We already hit the Hornets to win by 1.5 points. And actually, let's go hunt down what number we got it at. Right now, they're still hanging that at minus 120 or at plus 125, beg your pardon. When we got that, we got it at plus 145. So you can see how at every point across a game, they might be off. We got the first half money line. Last night we were all, or Monday night rather, we were all over the Bucks Hawks game where they were wrong on every number. And every one of those bets lost. And that's okay. You're not going to win every bet. The idea is not to win every bet. I'd love to hit this Mike Conley assists or rather rebounds over prop now, but we're actually out of money on Bet Rivers. We have about 800 bucks just in bets that were had a higher EV than 4.12%. And so, you know what? Tomorrow I'll probably be giving Bet Rivers a little bit more of my money. But right now on the year, we've taken more than $1,000 from them. So I'm very happy to do that. Let's go back to BetMGM. Nobody in the world thinks that DeAndre Ayton should be favored to record multiple assists tonight. Empirically, I guess that makes sense. He's a big man. He doesn't touch the ball a lot except off, screen and rolls. If someone on this team is going to get the assists, it's, I suppose, Chris Paul or Devin Booker. But again, we're ignoring all of that. All we're doing is looking on the math. What these three markets here tell you is that DeAndre Ayton to record under 1.5 assists should be priced competitively in that minus 105, minus 110 range. And BetMGM is giving us a coin flip. They think this is straight up 50-50 to happen. I think they're wrong because OddsJam has told me they're wrong. Let's put our money where our mouth is. We're going to go in. We're going to find DeAndre Ayton. We know they're only going to let us bet 20 bucks. There's our $20.05, and we're in for $20.05. And so that's what we do. That's how you make money sports betting. You find every single one of these little occasions. Here's another one where they're going to pull this off two numbers, and so we're not going to bet it. So what actually might do just to get rid of this on my sheet, we're going to pretend that we bet $1 on this. We're going to pretend we bet $1 on this, and we're going to rid ourselves of having that on our screen. So we'll come back to that in a little bit. DraftKings thinks that it's hilarious that we bet. Actually, that's not even what they do. FanDuel sometimes hits you with that where you'll take them for you'll take them for everything they're worth in terms of having a number wrong or hanging a player prop that's just outlandishly incorrect. And then they'll give you a little warning like, hey, you bet 1,200 bucks in the last hour. Maybe you want to stop. Maybe you want me to stop because I'm taking all your money. Excuse me. I did get that number just wrong. And so that crudely here, actually, we're going to get down to that too, aren't we? Maybe not. Maybe not. Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, actually really does think they should be just about that degree of underdog only in the first quarter. And so that might be, especially knowing that we don't have, let's just see if we have any free play in Bet Rivers to throw at Mike Conley to grab a few rebounds. It would be positively correlated with our Mike Conley over PRA bet anyway. So let's see if we have any bonus money we can take out. There's a bonus store. What's the bonus store? We don't just get bonus. Oh wow, wow. Whoa. All right. No idea what this is, to be honest. Where does get this? Okay. All right. No idea how that happens. But all right. I'm pretty sure that did what I wanted it to do. Hopefully they're going to tell me I have a $30 free bet to land on Mike Conley. What I suspect they'll say is actually you do have a $30 free bet to land on Mike Conley. And if you try to bet it on Mike Conley, we'll say, no, 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 you can bet three of those dollars. Let's see. Let's see if we can get in on a little bit more Mike Conley love just before we log off here. And we cannot because Bet Rivers is scared. They probably knew, yep, there it goes, that their number was wrong. They took it down and they're going to come back up in about 2 or 3 minutes at a correct price. But now Lou Dort, whoever that is, that number is vastly incorrect. You're going to see here that most people are going to have him as an underdog to get more than 3.5 rebounds. FanDuel's kind of wishy-washy on it. Bet Rivers is telling you that they think there's no way that he's getting. And actually, here's that Mike Conley number back, just like I said. So let's go to the Bucks and the Thunder, and let's fade Lou Dort. We can make that our last bet of the stream, and we can get money down on Lou Dort. And actually, I think one of the ways I might be able to get around Bet Rivers limiting me here is to parlay that with his assist under. Why not? Do I love parlays? No, absolutely not. They're usually minus EV, but this would be an example of a parlay that is not minus EV. They're not going to let us make it, of course, because again, they're scared. Hilarious. Will they let me do anything? Maybe. Okay, maybe. Can we do that? Let's do that. Sorry, we have that's very funny. I like that for them. Good for them. They're too scared from us to acknowledge that they're in the wrong here. So let's go out and get that Lou Dort. Let's see if they let us bet all $30. They do not. The remainder of the free bet will be forfeited. I'm not going to send the entire wager for approval because that's an inefficient use of our free bet. And so the stream goes on until we can find one final bet. Let's check in on Jeremiah Robinson Earl here. Again, no idea who that is. This is one where the market's kind of all over the place. MGM and DK would have you think he's bang on to get 7 or 8 points here. Odds, the Pinnacle line and Bet Rivers aren't so sure. I don't know who this guy is, but again, that's kind of the whole point. I should also mention I have very specific sort of pro filters on here. I only want to bet things with a 3% or more edge. And let's just take off the width here for a little bit. So all of the bets we've seen on this sieve so far on the Plus TV page have been specifically bets that have a very tight margin, a hugely tight window. That implies, you can see here, this column here on the right is the market width. That implies how confident or how unconfident somebody is in a line. So, for example, we can take all of these insanely valuable bets here. Are people confident that JMU is going to kick the shit out of Hampton? Yes. How confident are they? Not very at all, actually. They have no idea whether that implied probability should be 91% or 96%. So something that has a width of, 1,800, 1,600, even 700, that's really wide. That's not narrow enough for us at all. We want to be in that range of about 35 cents or less. That's what all these plays that are about to load up here are going to say. And those are the plays where the sports books are incredibly confident at the number they are hanging, or at least they have a high confidence interval, essentially. Um, I wonder if I can get this Lou. I want to bet this Lou Dort number somehow. I wonder if I can trick them into letting me parlay it with Tyrese points over. Because I do like Tyrese Halliburton, and even though I keep preaching that you shouldn't bet just players you like or things that you think will happen, when I can combine a thing that I definitely think will happen, which is Tyrese Halliburton going the fuck off, with another plus EV bet, then let's see what happens here. No. All right. We're going to do this only for the sake of the live stream. We're going to send the entire $30 wager for approval. We're going to see exactly how scared Bet Rivers is of our money and of the money that we've bet with them via OddsJam and the Plus EV page here. Uh, but if nothing else, I hope this has been instructive and informative. And there we go. We do, in fact, get down our $30 wager on Lou Dort to score 4 rebounds and Tyrese to score 41 points. Or I guess for Lou Dort, it's under 3.5 rebounds. We'll get that into the sheet. I'm going to spend some time making sure I got every bet that we just tracked here. We got the Mike Conley PRA bet in here, right? Yes, we do. And we're just going to throw this right at the end. And here is, we can do a quick scroll through of here's every one of these bets that we've found today via the Plus EV tool. Now, obviously, we've lost a few already. Turns out they don't score goals in Spain, and that this tennis match had a really weird structure to it where it was must have been some sort of weird late what is it, not the Ryder Cup, the Laver Cup, where they only have 4 game sets. But as you can see here, if you go to this column K, 99% of the bets that we're going to play are plus EV bets. And over time, what's that going to do? It's going to give you a graph and a chart that looks like this. Are there some losing days? Yes. Are there days when you lose a lot more money than you're comfortable? You know what? Actually, there are. But over time, what this is going to do is turn your sports betting bankroll into essentially something more approaching a financial tool. This will actually be something where you can sit down at your desk, even if it's only for 15, 20 minutes a day, and you can go out and you can make 5, 6, 7 sports bets that you can be confident are mathematically profitable bets. I believe the company line that I'm supposed to tote here is that if you place 95 bets from the Plus EV page with their filters turned on, that is to say, above 3% expected value, under 35% market width, if you place 90 bets on those parameters, you have a 95% chance of coming out ahead. It, again, it is betting, it is gambling. There will be times when breaks don't go your way. I lost a lot of money recently on Martin Maldonado getting a little seeing eye single in Game 5 of the World Series, but over time, the idea is that this line will keep going up and to the right. You can take these bets to the bank. Let's give it one last refresh, and we might call it there. You know what? This is great. Let's go out and get that Jazz line. FanDuel are scared of us, and in fact, in advance, I know they're not going to let me log back in, so we're going to go in through incognito. We want to get down 55 bucks on this. Only at the number it's currently offered at. Jazz plus 180 is an insanely profitable bet. Jazz plus 190. Okay, so news must have broken. They brought it down to plus 180 again. We're going to trust that the news that broke has already unbroke. We're in for 55 on the Jazz money line at plus 180 odds. We think that's insane value. I think I can't read. That is an error. Okay, well, hilarious. It actually was supposed to be plus 190. We're in at plus 180 for the same price. That's an error. Uh, Perhaps I should have looked at that a little bit more carefully, but I am used to doing this on three monitors, and the way OBS has set me up, I can only do it on one. So we're going to call it there. We're going to end the stream. Thank you all for tuning in, and I hope this has been educational and profitable.